Welcome back to the Power of Endurance. Today's read along is called Stuck. Now, before I read the story to you, I want to give you a little personal story of my own. My boy was approximately 3 years old, and I had one of those fancy monitor things that was like a little camera that would pick him up in his bedroom when he was in the crib. And it was an early morning one particular day, and my boy wasn't saying a whole lot of words. In fact, I think his first words were actually a phrase, and it went something like this: "Oh man." But besides that, he didn't say much else. And anyway, I had set the monitor down on the coffee table, and I knew he had woke up, but I was just letting him hang out in the crib because that's what moms do because they're tired. And all of a sudden, I heard him say, "Uh-oh, I stuck." And his foot had slipped in between the bars of the crib, and his leg slid down, and he went to go to pull it out, and it was stuck in between the bars, and he was stuck. But you should know, he got unstuck. Now he's a thriving second grader, and I won't forget that cute story I just wanted to share. Alright, today's read along, we have specific words that I want you to pay attention to. And let's go with our first word. As you can guess, it is the word stuck. That's going to be a significant word in the story. Another word is tree. You should see the words popping up somewhere over here probably. And through. Now, this is the type of word through. I threw the ball. Okay, that's what that type of through is meaning. And those are our three main words: stuck, tree, and through. Alright, I hope you enjoy the story. Make sure and pay attention for those words. Alright, it's time to rock and roll. The story is called Stuck. Dun dun dun. It all began when Floyd got his kite stuck in a tree. He tried pulling and swinging, but it wouldn't come unstuck. The trouble really began when he threw his favorite shoe to knock the kite loose, and that got stuck as well. First movement we're going to do for the aerobic read along, it's going to be the movement called flying a kite. Now, what I'm fixing to do is put up some pretty rad music, and you are going to go through the motion of flying a kite. Make sure and put the weight on the balls of your feet, and you're to fly that kite as long as the music goes. Alright, when I get started over here, then you get started. But if you get out of control, you will set back down. So at this time, make sure you're standing right by your desk, and I'm going to go through the motion of flying a kite right now so you know what you're supposed to be doing. Alright, let's do the fly the kite dance at this time. Be under control. Let's rock and roll. Alright, so how was it flying a kite? Probably pretty good. I enjoyed that scene as well. Make sure and get seated, and let's continue on with the story. He threw his other shoe to knock down his favorite shoe, and unbelievably, that got stuck as well. In order to knock down his other shoe, Floyd fetched his cat, Mitch. Cats get stuck up in trees all the time. But this was getting ridiculous and super embarrassing. So Floyd fetched a ladder. He was going to sort this out once and for all. What do you think he's going to do with the ladder? Well, he threw it up in the tree. And I'm sure you can guess what happened. It got stuck. Okay, time to move on to our next aerobic movement of this story. This move is going to be called climbing a ladder. Now, you're going to do this for as long as I do it. We're going to try and attempt to do this for 30 seconds. By the end of it, you should be tired. If you get out of control and you fall down, you will be setting down the rest of the time. So I suggest you stay under control. Okay, when the music begins, you're going to begin. Make sure you're standing right by your desk. I'm going to be showing you how to go through the climbing the ladder movement right now. And now you have to be under control. Enjoy, and let's climb a ladder. Go.
T-minus 30 seconds. T-minus 20 seconds. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
All right, good job. You got through successfully climbing a ladder. Hopefully your heart rate's up a little bit. Have a seat and let's continue on with the story. The ladder was borrowed from a neighbor who definitely wanted it back. So in order to get it back, Floyd threw a bucket of paint at it. And wouldn't you know, the bucket of paint got stuck. Then Floyd tried a duck to knock down the bucket of paint, a chair to knock down the duck, his friend's bicycle to knock down the chair, the kitchen sink to knock down his friend's bicycle, the front door to knock down the kitchen sink, the family car to knock down the front door, the milkman to knock down the family car. Did you get up here the same way? Milkman says to the cat. An orangutan to knock down the milkman, who surely had somewhere else to be. Okay, the next aerobic movement we got going on right now is going to be painting a wall. Now this movement is done with the wrist, and it's a very controlled movement, so this is going to take some focus. It's not really meant to get your heart rate up, you just need to focus. Alright, I'm going to show you how to paint, and we're going to paint until the whole wall is painted. So, use good form on this. I want it to look good. Alright, let me show you how to paint. Stand up by your desk. Alright, hopefully you've got that movement down. The music's going to start and we're going to paint a wall. Under control or you will set back down. And go. was some good painting. Beautiful wall. Alright. Good job. Okay. Guys, sit back down. Let's continue reading. I'm proud of you. And remember, our keywords are stuck, tree, and through. Alright. Continue the story. A small boat to knock down the orangutan. A big boat to knock down the small boat. A rhinoceros to knock down the big boat. A big truck to knock down the rhinoceros. The house across the street to knock down the big truck. Floyd? A lighthouse to knock down the house. No longer across the street. And a curious well in the wrong place at the wrong time. To knock down the lighthouse. Hi, what are you doing? And they all got stuck. A fire engine was passing and heard all the commotion. The firemen stopped to see if they could help at all. Can I help you at all? And up they went. First the engine, followed by the fireman. And there they stayed, stuck between the orangutan and one of the boats. Firemen would definitely be noticed missing, and Floyd knew he'd be in big trouble. Then he had an idea and went to find a saw. He lined it up as best as he could and threw it up the tree. And that was it. Pop! There was no more room left in the tree, and the kite came unstuck. Floyd was delighted, and he played with his kite for the rest of the day. That night, Floyd fell asleep exhausted. Though before he did, he could have sworn there was something he was forgetting. Hang on a minute. Lads, I've got a great idea, says the fireman. And that's the end of the story. Okay, guys. That story kind of threw me for a loop. It's the first time I've read that story. I'm still kind of in shock that he just got his kite out of the tree and left everything else up in the tree. I'm not sure how to take that story, but that's okay. Guys, I want to take a moment and talk about being stuck. I want you to think about your math problems or your reading, and sometimes you get stuck. You get hung up and you get frustrated because it's hard. But you have to keep going until you get unstuck. That's how life works. Sometimes we're stuck, but we have to work to get unstuck. So I hope you enjoyed the aerobic read along. I'm going to add movements throughout the story now. And I shall see you next time. Over and out. Okay, that was some good painting. Beautiful wall. Alright, good job. Okay, guys, sit back down. Let's continue reading. I'm proud of you. And remember, our keywords are stuck, tree, and through. Alright, continue the story.